Hey everyone, I'm back on trail, and as I think many of you already know, my leg and my foot are healed up, and it's been a fantastic week. I'm feeling good, I'm hiking strong, I'm hiking slow, trying to take care of my orthopedic musculoskeletal issues, which are behaving quite nicely. So I thought I would post this video, and I'm staying tonight at the Nantahala Outdoor Center, which is a outdoor river sports recreation area that has bunks, and it's kind of a hostel for thru hikers. So I got here today, I took a shower, I'm about to do laundry, and I'll set out again in the morning. I have a big long climb in the morning, so hopefully that'll go well. I'm sure it will. As in the past, a couple of things. First of all, thank you to those who have given me encouragement and support and subscribed. It really was a no-brainer about getting back on the trail, and with the blessing of my physical therapist and podiatrist and wife, Kay, I'm back. Also, I encourage you to donate if you've not done so. The link to the Appalachian Challenge for Children's Mental Health is outlined below, and I am grateful to those who have already donated, and I encourage those who are in the pre-contemplative phase to go ahead and donate as well. So I'm going to put together kind of a mix of different images of the trail, as well as some videos of some of the great people I've met. It's been a great group of people, and tonight at dinner I'm sure will be no exception. And so I will put those together in the video that follows, along with a report on some wildlife incidents that you may be interested in. That'll come later on. Take care, and thanks again for subscribing and for watching, and for your encouragement. Bye-bye. Hey everybody, I'm back on the trail, and thrilled to be here. I'm feeling good. My leg's better, my foot's better, and I had a short day of hiking yesterday. I'll have a little bit longer, but still short 7-mile day today. But the most amazing thing is I'm standing at the top of Cylerball in North Carolina, and it's at 5,200 feet above sea level. And in this part of the country, that's not above tree line, but amazingly, it's all kind of grassland here. So first, take a look at the view behind me. It is amazing. I feel like I should be singing The Sound of Music here. Just an amazing, expansive view, especially on a nice, clear, blue sky day, albeit cold. But really, there's a 360-degree view. Last night, I stayed at the Cylerball Shelter, which is on a side Blue Blaze Trail, and it parallels their Blue Blaze Trail parallels the AT, and it comes back to join the AT just distal to Cylerbald. So I had to come up here to see this, because one of the things I'm so excited about is seeing the balds and seeing what they look like. It's such a weird thing, you know. In the north it'd be above tree line, but here it's just grassland. I'll take another shot to show a better shot of all the fields. But I stayed at Cylerball Shelter with Mooch and Blue and QB and Squid and a few hunters that one of whom you've either met or you will meet, depending on how I edit this video. But it feels great to be back. As I signed the trail register, I noticed that Pirate and Stormy had stopped at this shelter about a week ago for lunch, and it was good to see their names. Looks like they're hiking strong. They're staying with it. I talked to Kay last night. I'm so grateful for all the people that helped me rehab and fix my foot and my leg. And but I am thrilled to be back on the trail. I'm really thankful to Stephanie, Terry, and Pat. Terry and Pat are Steph's parents, who picked me up in Asheville and brought me to Winding Stair Gap to resume my trip, and I am totally grateful to them. So I'm back on the trail. I'm moving along, and slow and steady. Catch you later. Bye-bye.
Oh, this?
Yeah.
Yeah, so what we have here is wild boar rooting. Tons of it all over this field. I ran into it yesterday, and it was about this big. I don't know, maybe I'm exaggerating. I thought it was a bear at first, and you could see that it's capable of doing all this.
Oh my goodness. Well, hopefully I won't see it. I should be carrying boar spray instead of bear spray.
Very careful, yeah, be careful. It kind of somewhat pursued me for a little bit, so yeah, watch out.
Here's Mooch coming down from Cylerball Shelter. No, from Cylerball itself. He's called Mooch because he mooches snacks off of people, but last night he gave me, in a reverse mooch effort, a Jolly Rancher, which I remember.
Also, the view up there is fucking phenomenal.
All right, I'm gonna go check it out. Hi, I'm Dom. Can do.
I'm Evan. I'm Gypsy.
I'm Caroline. I'm Fern.
I'm Addy. I'm Mooch.
I'm Justin, and I'm Guru.
I'm Scott, and I'm Scott.
Kevin, deuces.
Here we are at the top of Rocky Bald. This is just before I start a steep descent into Tellico Gap. Actually, I've been told it's steep. I don't know how steep it is. But let's see what the view on this side trail holds for us. This is the view from the top of Rocky Bald. This is why they call it Rocky Bald. Most of the balds are kind of meadow, but this is the view from Rocky Bald. Last night I camped at Copper Ridge. There are about, I'm going to say, 12.5 other campers there, and I was going to camp at the Cold Spring Shelter, but I was sitting there for a while, repacking my pack, eating lunch, and all these mice were there. So I decided, no way. So just about 2/10 of a mile up, there was this ridge with a great view and tons of people camping, and that's where I set up for the night. See you later. Well, we're up at the top of Westerbald, where there's a big observation platform. And I'm sure that the vista that I'm looking at is larger than the state of Rhode Island. It just goes on and on and on, with more and more mountains. I came up here for a drink and a snack. Met a bunch of folks from New Hampshire. Look at how beautiful this is. All right, you got it.
Hi, we're the Honeymoon Hikers. We're currently on our 5th through hike of the AT, and she actually is the first one we've been told to do 4 through hikes as a female, and she'll be her 5th. And of course, as a couple, we tell everybody nobody's done 5 together because they get divorced after 1. So, and we've hiked since we started hiking in 10. We've done 17,000 miles all over the world. Wow. We work 6 months out of the year and take 6 months off.
Well, that's good.
And we live in a 37-foot RV, debt-free. Do whatever we want to do.
No, but what are your names?
Real name?
Or trail names, whichever
well,
you prefer.
We go as the Honeymoon Hikers, but in 10 when we hiked it the first time, we went as Ratman and Tumbler. So, and we've been hiking ever since. And every time we hike it, we say never again. And so we've lied to ourselves 4 times. And this time, this is our last through hike of the AT. Well, we might hike other shorter trails, but this is it. I mean, I'm 56, she's 50, and I just turned 56 last Thursday. and it's rougher. And long distance, and we've named every rock on this trail but 2 or 3, and I want to come back and name them, and then we're done.
Now let's see the back of your shirts.
And
Yeah, that's so cool.
Okay, say mom.
Isn't it?
There's mom.
All right, I'll take your word for
I
it.
think we've used the rooster behind every tree all this trail since we've done 5.
It's Freebird on the right and Jupiter on the left, on the spoons. And this is Jeremiah from Warwick. Blue, say hi.
It's cramping. Mind showing me how it works?
Well done.
Yeah, it actually sounds, and I like that it's like a little muted. Like if it was metal spoons, because this is quieter too. Yeah.
Hey everybody, this is the Appalachian Trail. See the trail, you see steep drop off on one side with gorgeous views, steep drop off on the other side, also with gorgeous views. I'm going to stay right on this path and not venture too far off. This is Tina and
Gypsy.
Gypsy brought us tail magic. Gypsy brought us tail magic. Tina brought us trail magic. So I'm at the observation tower at the top of Westerbald, and this is just incredible. Let's take a look at this view. We're above 5,000 feet. So I went up to Westerbald, had a snack and some water at the observation tower, took some videos, which you've seen, and then headed back down to the Westerbald Shelter, which was only maybe a little less than a mile down from the summit. So I put my pack at the shelter and I went to get water. So there's a couple of different options for getting water. One was a pipe spring that I could have gotten on the way to the shelter, but I thought, oh, you know, the shelter water is usually closer, so I'll hold off, and rather than drag my 3-liter bag of unfiltered water to the shelter, I thought I'll set everything down and then go. Just beyond the turnoff for the shelter, there's a sign on the AT leading to water. So I said, great. So I bring one trekking pole and my water bag, and I head down. So this trail went switchback after switchback after switchback. It was this narrow, overgrown trail that I think no one ever uses, except me. So I'm walking down the trail, and it seems like this water source is in a different zip code. What I should have done was go back and get the water from the spring that I passed, but I didn't. So as I'm walking along, I suddenly hear this sound. and it sounds like a cicada, but not quite as sort of melodic. And I stopped because I wanted to get my bearings, because I thought, oh, I wonder if this could be a rattlesnake. And just at that moment, a rattlesnake lunged at me. Fortunately, it missed. I'm going to tell this story, and maybe I'll have a little levity in it, but getting bit by a rattlesnake is really one of the potentially most dangerous things that has happened to me. But I haven't been bitten, so that's important to know. So anyway, I'm on this narrow trail, maybe 18 inches to 24 inches wide. The rattlesnake is coiled up about 2 to 3 feet down the slope to my right. On my left is a very steep slope up. That's not going to give me a lot of purchase to give the rattlesnake a wider berth. So anyway, as soon as the rattlesnake lunges and misses, I did what you're not supposed to do, which is I ran ahead. I should have backed off. So now I have this rattlesnake in between me and my campsite. So what do? I move far away, the rattlesnake is still rattling. If I move far away enough, it stops rattling. If I move a little bit closer, it rattles again. So I'm thinking at some point this rattlesnake is going to move away. So after about a half an hour, it doesn't move away. And so I'm thinking, okay, what am I going to do? So what does any person do when they're in a potential emergency? They call the Appalachian Trail Conservancy. So I had my cell phone, I had service, I called them up, and they said, gee, we've never had a call like this before. All I wanted was some guidance. And they said I should call 911. So I called 911. And 911 said, well, sir, we can't really, there's no emergency here. You haven't been bitten. And I thought, okay, well, I don't want to get bitten. So I said, this is a national forest that I'm in, Nantahala National Forest. I think could you send me to the National Forest Service? And they said, oh, certainly we can do that. And which they did. So I talked to Roger. And Roger told me, sounds like a timber rattler. They're usually not that aggressive. Did you do anything to provoke it? And I recounted the story, and he says, you stopped. He says, as soon as you stopped, you were right next to the rattlesnake, and it thought you were going to attack it, so it tried to defend its territory. He said, as long as it's rattling, that's good, which made no sense to me as a city guy. I think a rattlesnake rattling to me would spell danger. So he says, can you give it a little bit of a wider berth? And, you know, I was able to maybe climb up on the side of the slope, going back to my camp, maybe give it another 2 feet. He said, so walk by it, try to be as far away from it as you can, and you should be fine. I should be fine. But Roger sounded like someone I could trust. So being a weenie boy from the city, I said, you know, Roger, could you stay on the line and I'll just put my phone in my pocket as I do this way, in case I'm killed by this snake, you'll hear me and you can send help. He says, that's fine. So I climbed up. The snake was looking at me. It was rattling. It didn't stop. I got by it. I breathed a sigh of relief. I thanked Roger profusely, and that was that. It was one of the scariest things to see a rattlesnake, to hear it, and then to see it lunge at you was terrifying. Not all rattlesnake bites result in envenomation, and so some of them are dry bites. But I don't want to have any bites. So that's what I got. So that's my rattlesnake story. Roger at one point said, now don't do anything to provoke it, like throw things at it or something. I said, well, okay, it's a little too late for that, because I throw a branch at it to try to encourage it to scurry off. That didn't happen. So anyway, that was my rattlesnake story. So far, I have heard tons and tons of great horned owls and barred owls. They start in the late afternoon and they go on into the morning. I have heard lots of rough grouse. I've never seen one. I haven't flushed one, but it sounds like someone starting up a motorcycle and then revving it once. I hear it all day, off in the distance. When I went to the Westerbald Shelter just before the rattlesnake incident, there were a couple of deer grazing nearby, and I've seen squirrels and heard lots of coyotes. Haven't seen any bears. Haven't even seen evidence of bears. My bear can has never been disturbed from where I place it at night. And now I'm going to add a rattlesnake to that list. I hope I don't have to add any other rattlesnakes. Now, of course, everything today, as I was hiking, everything sounded like a rattlesnake. And I was looking over my shoulder, looking left, looking right, waiting to hear that sound. I'm going to put a little video. Of course, I tried to take a little video from a safe distance. So see if you could listen. It sounds like a cicada, but it is not a cicada. Anyway, I think I'll close with this, and I'm going to thank you for watching. Take care.